Peace and blessings to everybody out here. This your boy Upper Echelon. Shout out to all my Upper Echelonians. If you ain't hit the like, share, and subscribe button, make sure you take a chance to hit that like button, that share button, and subscribe. Because you know here at Upper Echelon, we give it to you hot, raw, and unbiasedness. Every day between Monday and Friday between 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch me and my lovely host, Key Alexandria, going through the boxing news and coming over the hot topics every day. And on our show, it's an open panel. So anybody has something to say, you're free to say it because it's boxing talk and everybody's opinions matter. One thing we don't do here is we don't push narratives. And we have a culture vulture in here. We have somebody in here that's pushing a false narrative that's bringing down the sport of boxing as we know it. It's called that Bill shit, but it's the Haney coat. Yes, Devin Haney, he's a great boxer, but he tries to do a lot to fit in. He also does what his dad says. But before this fight happened, I told them that it wouldn't do more than 75,000. And see, the Sportster, they came out there and they got the fake numbers out there. But see, Devin says he wants to fight with Gervonta, but they don't want no rehydration. They don't want no rehydration clause. They think they have the A side. And see, this is the problem that we have here with the Haney coat. See, it was all okay when Devin Haney was the A side and they was trying to give Shakur peanuts. And Shakur didn't want to take peanuts.
Punk motherfucker throwing shit at us. Man, I smell something, man. You smell something? Definitely smell something out here. I smell pussy. Pussy, man. Dick his ass.
Now with Shakur being the B side, it was okay for him to take whatever Devin offered, and he didn't want to take it, so he was labeled a duck, right? So Devin was the clear A side over Shakur, and he wasn't really that much more a A side over Shakur because Shakur had been doing great numbers and been selling out places where he went to. But they all pushed the narrative. Shakur didn't accept the deal, so he was a duck, right? So now Gervonta Tank Davis is clearly the A side over Devin. The fight that Tank Davis did with Ryan Garcia brought in more revenue than all of Devin's fights combined in his whole career times 2. You could take all the fights that Devin Haney did, all 31 of them, and times it by 2, and it still doesn't come up with the revenue that Gervonta Tank Davis made. So we see who is the clear A side. But let Haney fans tell it no. Now, Devin just came in against Regis Prograis at 140, 165 pounds the morning of the fight. So when he got into the ring, he was at least 170 pounds. The man rehydrated over 30 pounds now. Now, I'm not calling people weight bully, but if you going up 30 pounds to fight somebody, what does that tell you? Now, see, Gervonta Tank Davis is 5'5". Now, I see if they fight, yeah, they can fight at 140 with a 15-pound rehydration clause. That'll make it fair for both people. That's giving in to both people, even though Gervonta doesn't have to give in to nothing because he is the A side. But I don't want to see Devin drain, but I also don't want to see him fighting as a super middleweight. 170 pounds, you are a super middleweight. That's the same weight as Canelo has to weigh in. Matter of fact, it's 2 pounds less. Because if he's coming in at 170, Canelo has to weigh in at 168. Gervonta Tank Davis is a 135 fighter. So that's a lightweight. Then you got the super lightweight. Then you got the welterweight. Then you got the super welterweight. Then you have the middleweight. Then you have the super middleweight. That's 5 divisions. And if you have to go 5 divisions up to defeat your opponent, then that means you need some type of advantage. Yes, that's an advantage. Devin has never fought somebody that was his size or close to his size. And if Devin would have fought Lomachenko and they would have been the same size, Lomachenko would have smoked Devin. I'm just being honest. Because Devin barely beat him being 30 pounds heavier than him. Now you see what Lomachenko said. He said, this is no lightweight, this is a heavyweight. And see, a lot of Devin fans don't realize this, but I've noticed y'all like to have an advantage. There are bully tactics. Devin's fans like to see bigger guys beat on smaller guys. Me, I want to see how good a fighter really is. I want to see you fight a person at their best. I want to see you go against a person that's just as good as you, that has just the same amount of tools that you got, that have the same weaponry. I want to see who's the better of the two. I don't want to see one that has an advantage over the other one. Nah, that's not right. That's not boxing. That doesn't show me who's skilled, because a big man will always beat the more skilled smaller man. If a big man and a small man fought and they both had the same skills, the bigger man would win. That's boxing. That's why they have weight classes for a reason. But the Haney fans don't see it that way. Gervonta Tank Davis went up and fought Mario Barrios at 140. Immediately after the fight, he said he didn't like the way his body felt at that weight and he wasn't going back up to fight no more. He turned around and went down to 130 and fought Leo Santa Cruz. So people forget Gervonta Tank Davis is a natural 126 pounder that moved up. This is his 3rd division. He went up to 140. That was his 4th division. That's the equivalent of Devin going up to fight Tim Tszyu, basically. Which he probably can do, because if you put him in a picture beside him and Errol Spence, Devin is the bigger of the 3. But people don't understand that. But, you know, they push the road. They push the narrative. Now, Devin just did 50,000 buys with Regis Prograis and did a $1.7 million gate. Gervonta Tank Davis versus Hector Garcia did a $5 million gate. That did more than Devin's whole fight with Regis Prograis. But then you tried the son Shakur Stevenson. But I can say like this, Devin was the clear A side. Shakur had a chance to get 4 belts. So you made him an offer. Even though the WBC mandatory says you get 30%. But Shakur could have sat there and took the fight. Yes, he could. Because Devin was the clear A side, but he didn't. And y'all label Shakur duck. I'm not saying he ducked, but I see what y'all was saying. So now Tank Davis is the clear A side, but it's not okay for Devin to bend the knee to the clear A side. That's called hypocrisy. And that's what Bill Haney and his people like to do. And then people say Tank send the contract. But why is Tank sending the contract if you're out here publicly shooting down the fight, saying that you will not rehydrate or you will not take a weight stipulation that the fight has to be at 140 and you're not taking a rehydration clause? You're making demands as a B-side. That is unprecedented. People don't tell Canelo what they're not about to do. People are not telling Floyd what they're not about to do. You're not the A side. If you want the biggest fight, then you're going to have to bend the fucking knee. And that's the problem. Devin and his fans, they feel like that they can bully and shame somebody into this. Devin just wants a bag. And he's lucky I'm not to Tank Davis's handlers, because me, I would give him a fight at 140 with a 10-pound weight limit like the IBF says. But 15 is more generous, and I would give him a $5 million flat fee. That's bigger than his biggest payday, since he said this is for legacy and not the money. We all know what's going on. They're trying to get the money. They want the bag. The man even had a chance. He was on the show. They asked Bill, so you want the same deal that Ryan Garcia want? He said, no, I don't want the same deal that Ryan Garcia got. I want the same money that Ryan Garcia got. So he's saying he wants the money that Ryan Garcia made, but he don't want to take the deal and the stipulations. How have you ever had a B-side tell you that? First off, you have a chance to make more than you've made in your career ×2, and you think you're about to go out here and demand something? That's like a person going to fill out a job application and telling the CEO what he is and ain't going to do. It's not going to happen. And then thinking that you're going to sit there and do Tank like Earl got done by Terrence Crawford, that's because Terrence had something that Earl wanted. And that's because Earl really wanted that fight. Tank wants to fight, but you ain't got nothing that Tank want. Tank got what you want. And Devin wants to be the star that Tank is. That's it. That's why he's starstruck and he be at all Tank's fights, because he wants to be Gervonta Tank Davis. And see, his fans are out here pushing this grassroots campaign, and they're doing this and that, trying to make it seem like Devin's the face of boxing, but the face of boxing is not turning over the revenue. You can't be the face of boxing if you're not producing the cash that goes along with the title. And they're not doing that. They're not producing the income. They're not producing the cash. All they have is internet detractors that's over here on these shows pushing a false narrative. They try to push it and make it seem like he's something that is not. But the people have spoken. They spoke and they said 50K. 50K is nothing. And so that means that 150,000 that you did with Loma, that meant Loma carried 100,000 of them pay-per-view fight buys. So is Devin really the pay-per-view sale that they say he is, or is there a big ruse that they putting up? And the thing is, Bill Haney getting caught in so many lies, just like he said he talked to Sabril Matias's people and they overpriced himself for $4 million, which is false, because Bill called and he said he had the wrong person that he talked to. Then he said he talked to Peter Khan. Bill get trapped up in his lies every day. Last week he told a lie every single day of the week, a different lie. Come on, man. And the Haney coat, they don't even question it. All they do is run with the narrative and accept it. And they got y'all out here looking real bad, Haney coat. But Tank Davis, peace and blessings. I want to see you fight somebody. And if you don't fight Haney, you got Shakur down there. You got Williams Zepeda. You got Frank Martin. You got all the great fights. Now, I'm not taking my foot off your neck either, Tank. You got to give us the fights that we asked for. Now, we don't watch the fights we didn't ask for, but I need to see you in there with a top name. And if Devin and Bill don't want to capitulate to the statuses or to the agreement, then they don't want the fight, period. Because I told people before the weigh-in that Devin was going to have a problem making 140. And he did. They had a private weigh-in ceremony. I don't even think Devin made weight. Because last time I heard, he was off by 10 pounds 3 days going into it. But that's neither here nor there. It was a private weigh-in, a private ceremony. So people can't really say what they say. But you know, California state boxing law, if you come in over 15% heavier than the contracted weight of the fight, then the fight is to be canceled. Devin came in 18% over. So somebody must have got paid because the Regis fight didn't get canceled. So yeah, the man's coming in over California state law. He's doing things that shouldn't be done, and he's trying to capitulate the A side. But the Haney coat make it seem like it's another day in the office. I'm gonna tell you like this: the man knows if he fights Tank at Tank's level, he's gonna get knocked, sparked the fuck out. And Bill Haney knows it. But they're trying to cash in while the cashing is good, because ain't nobody from 135 up to 168 gonna give Devin the type of payday he gonna get versus Tank. And they're trying to get it because they're not trying to miss out on this Javante Tank sweepstakes. But this is Upper Echelon. Peace and blessings to every one of y'all out there. If you're still here, hit my like, share, and subscribe button, and I'm out.